Have you ever wondered why so many men struggle to live well beyond 70? It's a question that few stop to ask, yet the answer holds powerful lessons. While it's true that women often outlive men, the reason isn't just genetic luck. It's deeply tied to lifestyle choices, stress patterns, and habits formed over decades. In this video, we'll uncover 8 critical reasons why men often face shorter lifespans. Truths that are uncomfortable but necessary to face. From silent health issues to emotional habits that quietly drain vitality, these insights reveal what's really behind the numbers. But more importantly, you'll learn how to take control, to rewrite that narrative. Because longevity isn't just about adding years to life, it's about adding life to those years. Stay with me until the end, because what you'll discover might just change the way you think about aging and about living fully at any age. If you find value in this message, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps spread awareness and inspire more people to live longer, healthier, and more meaningful lives. Reason number 1, heart disease, the hidden enemy. For men over 70, one of the greatest threats to longevity is heart disease, a silent, persistent enemy that builds over time. The danger doesn't appear overnight. It's the result of decades of small, cumulative habits. Years of poor eating choices, a sedentary lifestyle, smoking, or living under chronic stress gradually take their toll on the heart. In their 40s or 50s, most men feel invincible. They may still be working, active, and independent. But what's happening inside often tells a different story. Arteries slowly narrow. Blood pressure creeps upward. The heart, once strong and resilient, begins to show signs of wear, though most men won't notice until it's almost too late. The biggest problem is denial. Many men assume that because they feel fine, they are fine. But heart disease rarely shouts. It whispers. And by the time the symptoms become loud enough to notice, the damage is often advanced. Take Frank, for instance. At 78, he'd spent his whole life doing construction work, convinced that his active job kept him healthy. When he started feeling chest pressure while mowing the lawn, he brushed it off as fatigue. A few weeks later, he collapsed. Doctors discovered several of his arteries were nearly blocked. Frank was lucky. He survived. But the recovery was long and painful. He later admitted that regular checkups could have caught the problem years earlier. Heart disease isn't just about genetics. It's about daily decisions. What you eat, how you move, and how you handle stress. Carrying extra weight, living on processed food, ignoring exercise, and pushing through long-term stress quietly stacks the odds against survival. After 70, the body doesn't rebound the way it once did. But it's never too late to change course. Small, consistent choices can make a big difference. A 20-minute walk every day, more vegetables and lean proteins, cutting back on salt and sugar, and keeping up with annual screenings. These aren't quick fixes. They're lifelines. The men who live longest are often those who listen to their bodies before it's too late. Reason number 2, overlooking mental health. The next major threat men face after 70 isn't physical, it's emotional. For decades, many men have been conditioned to bottle up their feelings, to tough it out, and never show vulnerability. That mindset may work in youth, but with age, it becomes a trap. Depression, anxiety, and loneliness quietly affect millions of older men, yet they often go unrecognized, or worse, dismissed as just getting old. But the truth is, emotional health directly impacts physical health. Chronic loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, dementia, and even premature death. George, a 75-year-old widower, is a perfect example. When his wife passed, he slowly withdrew from social life. He stopped meeting friends, stopped going to church, and spent most days alone at home. His family thought he was just slowing down, but in reality he was slipping into depression. His appetite declined, his energy faded, and even his memory started to falter. Everything changed when his daughter convinced him to join a local men's support group. There, he found companionship, laughter, and understanding. Within months, his mood lifted, and surprisingly, his physical health improved too. His doctor noticed lower blood pressure and better energy levels. That's not a coincidence. Loneliness can be as deadly as smoking or obesity, but it's often ignored because it doesn't show up on a medical scan. Connection, purpose, and emotional expression are powerful medicine, especially for aging men. The key is to break the silence. Talk to your family. Reach out to an old friend. Volunteer, join a club, or simply have coffee with a neighbor. You don't need to open your heart to the world, just to one or two trusted people. Staying socially active keeps the mind engaged and the spirit alive. Aging doesn't have to mean isolation. In fact, staying emotionally connected may be one of the strongest predictors of longevity, because when the heart and mind are both healthy, the body follows. If these words touched your heart and sparked inspiration within you, leave a 3 in the comments to let it shine. If they did not, leave a 0 in quiet honesty. Every thought you share is a gift. Thank you for giving us a moment of your precious time. Reason number 3, years of poor habits catching up. By the time many men reach their 70s, decades of lifestyle choices finally reveal their consequences. Smoking, heavy drinking, poor eating habits, and avoiding exercise might have seemed harmless in midlife, something to worry about later. But when later arrives, the body no longer has the same ability to recover. What once seemed like small indulgences turn into chronic conditions: high blood pressure, heart disease, joint pain, or diabetes. Habits are powerful, both good and bad. A man who has smoked since his 20s may believe it's pointless to quit now. Someone who's lived on greasy takeout or skipped vegetables for years might assume the damage is already done. But that mindset is a trap. The truth is, the body has an incredible ability to heal, even in your 70s, if you give it the chance. Take Samuel, for example. At 73, he'd spent most of his life living on fried foods, sodas, and convenience meals. For decades, he felt fine. Then, almost overnight, his energy collapsed. His blood pressure skyrocketed, his joints stiffened, and climbing stairs became exhausting. His doctor warned that if he didn't change his habits, the next few years could be difficult. So Samuel started small, cutting out soda, eating lighter dinners, and walking each morning. Within months, his energy returned, his blood pressure dropped, and he started feeling like himself again. His story proves it's never too late to turn things around. Every meal, every walk, every good night's sleep becomes a small investment in longevity. The key is consistency. You don't need perfection, just persistence. Even small adjustments like swapping processed foods for vegetables, adding short daily walks, or limiting alcohol can drastically reduce the risks of chronic illness. The body rewards care at any age. And for men in their 70s, those small efforts often mean the difference between merely existing and truly living. Reason number 4, avoiding medical care. Another reason many men don't make it far past 70 is simple. They avoid the doctor. It's not always out of fear. Sometimes it's pride, denial, or the old belief that real men don't complain. Unfortunately, that attitude often proves deadly. Conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, and prostate or colon cancer can develop silently. There are no symptoms until the damage is already done. Routine checkups are designed to catch these problems early, but too many men delay them until it's too late. Richard, 79, had ignored stomach pain for over a year. He told himself it was just heartburn, afraid of what he might hear if he went in. When he finally saw a doctor, he learned it was advanced stomach cancer, and nothing could be done. His story is tragically common. Regular screenings, blood tests, and physical exams aren't signs of weakness. They're acts of self-respect. They protect not just your life, but your time with the people who love you. Skipping care doesn't make you strong. It simply hands your power over to disease. Men who prioritize preventive care give themselves the greatest gift: more years of vitality, clarity, and connection. Because staying alive isn't just about avoiding death, it's about choosing life every single day. Reason number 5, losing purpose and connection. The 5th reason many men struggle to thrive after 70 has nothing to do with physical health. It's about losing a sense of purpose and connection. Retirement, fewer responsibilities, and the gradual loss of friends can leave many men feeling disconnected and invisible. Without something meaningful to wake up for, life can begin to feel empty. And that emptiness, studies show, can shorten lifespan as much as smoking or poor diet. Take Leonard, for example. At 74, he looked forward to retirement, imagining days of rest and relaxation. But after a year, he began to feel restless and unfulfilled. Without the structure of work or the camaraderie of coworkers, his motivation faded. His sleep worsened, his energy dropped, and even his appetite declined. It wasn't until he joined a local community garden that things changed. Nurturing plants and chatting with neighbors gave him a new sense of belonging, and his health improved almost immediately. Survival isn't just physical, it's deeply emotional and spiritual. Men who stay connected, who mentor younger generations, volunteer or nurture hobbies, don't just add years. They add life to those years. Purpose keeps the mind sharp, the body active, and the spirit alive. At 70 and beyond, connection isn't optional, it's essential. Reason number 6, ignoring sleep, the silent destroyer. Many older men treat sleep like a luxury instead of a necessity. They stay up late watching TV, fall asleep in a chair, or wake up multiple times during the night. Then wonder why their memory fades, energy drops, and blood pressure spikes. Poor sleep affects everything: heart health, hormones, mood, and even immune function. Studies show that men who consistently sleep less than 6 hours a night are more likely to develop heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. The good news? It's never too late to fix it. Going to bed at a consistent time, keeping the room dark and cool, and limiting caffeine after noon can restore deep, restorative sleep. Quality rest doesn't just add years. It adds clarity, patience, and vitality to each one. Reason number 7, neglecting movement. After 70, many men slow down. Not because they have to, but because they assume it's inevitable. They trade activity for comfort, and in doing so, they unknowingly accelerate aging. Muscles shrink, balance weakens, and bones lose strength. Movement is medicine. Gentle exercise, walking, swimming, stretching, light strength training, keeps circulation flowing, joints flexible, and the mind alert. You don't need a gym. You just need consistency. The difference between a man who keeps moving and one who gives up is profound. One grows older, the other grows stronger. Reason number 8, holding on to anger and regret. As men age, emotional weight can become as dangerous as physical weight. Resentment, guilt, and unresolved anger quietly eat away at the heart, raising blood pressure and stress hormones. Letting go isn't weakness, it's liberation. The men who forgive, release grudges, and find peace with their past live lighter, longer, and freer lives. True longevity isn't only about the body you maintain, but also about the burdens you're willing to set down. When we step back and look at these 8 reasons together, one truth becomes clear. Most men don't lose their lives after 70 because of fate, but because of neglect. Neglect of the body, the mind, and the simple habits that sustain vitality. Aging isn't what ends us. Giving up is. Heart disease, loneliness, poor sleep, bad habits, they're all connected by one common thread: disconnection. Disconnection from our bodies, from our purpose, and from the people who give life meaning. The good news is, it's never too late to reconnect. Whether you're 50, 60, or already past 70, every decision you make today can change the years ahead. Start by moving your body, even if it's just a walk around the block. Eat with intention. Get your checkups. Talk about what's bothering you instead of bottling it up. And above all, stay curious about life. Men who stay curious about people, passions, and the world around them stay young inside, no matter their age. Longevity isn't just about surviving longer. It's about living deeper. It's about waking up each morning with purpose, treating your health like your legacy, and choosing life over routine. Because growing older is guaranteed, but growing wiser, stronger, and more peaceful? That's a choice. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Someone you love might need to hear this today. Together, let's build a generation of men who not only reach 70, but thrive well beyond it, with strength, clarity, and grace.